All right, I think we're going to get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Dr. Yvette Bordeaux, and I am the director of the Professional Master's Programs in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science at the University of Pennsylvania here in Philadelphia. And welcome to everyone today. We're having an info session. I want to introduce our other folks that are here. We have Sally Carty, who
Hi,
is
everybody.
our administrative director. And Sally is going to be putting links into the chat room. Okay, so she'll be, as I talk about different things, she'll be popping in different links. And so if you want to keep an eye on that chat room or, copy it afterwards, you can click on those links and see see more information about different things. We also have Akila Abdul Rahman here, and she is our recruitment specialist. And she is also available to answer questions as we go along. Now, if you do have questions during the webinar here, please do put them in the Q&A box, and Sally, Akila, or myself will answer the questions as we go. So feel free to ask questions as we go. If I see something that I'm talking about, I can stop and answer it, or Sally can put in a little note, or Akila. So feel free to ask as many questions as you like. We're here to help you understand the program and get your questions answered. All right, so we're going to get started. And so this is the Master of Science in Applied Geosciences, and we're now online. Okay, the program itself started in 2005 here in Philadelphia, and it has over 175 alum at this point. We are part of the School of Arts and Sciences. University of Pennsylvania has 12 schools, and Arts and Sciences is the largest of the schools, and we are part of that. In fact, the School of Arts and Sciences is so large, we actually have 3 colleges within the school, and we're part of the College of Liberal and Professional Studies. All right, and the program itself academically is housed in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science. And here's a picture of Hayden Hall, which is where we live and work, and where this is where you can find us on a daily basis. All right, so now the program format is, it was on campus when we started in 2005, and in 2022, we switched over to an online format so that we could reach more students where they are. We were finding that a lot of students wanted to come to Philly and study, but they didn't want to leave their jobs for 2 years in order to come and study. So this allows you to continue working wherever you are. And, if you have family or jobs or whatever, you don't have to leave. You can still do the program remotely. All right. This lovely picture of our campus. All right. So the Professional Master's Program is a little bit different than a Research Master's Program, in that our focus is really on finding you a job or helping you with a promotion or jumping to another position. So we're really helping you to improve professionally rather than, say, going on for a PhD. Okay, so our real focus is professional. We have 3 program focus areas: environmental geology, engineering geology, and hydrogeology. So we really don't work in petroleum or in mining. We're really more on the environmental side, so consulting, EPA, working in cleanups rather than extraction. Okay. All right, now our faculty at Penn come from 2 different areas. So one is our research faculty, so that's our traditional faculty. They are doing theoretical research in areas that include soils, climate change, hydrology, sediment transport, mechanics of ice. He works on glaciers. And you can take classes with them. They have several of them will be teaching in our program. And then we have our professional faculty. And these folks actually work by day in consulting, EPA, and other places. And then they come into the classroom with those experiences and share those with you, as well as their many years of experience in the field. So some of them hold PG, professional geologist licenses. Some of them hold professional engineering licenses, and some of them have both. All right. So I think that adds a valuable piece to the program, in that they can talk to you about actual projects they're working on or have worked on, and give you great examples, and also answer questions that you might have. So say you're working in this field and you come up against something and you're like, hey, what do you think, professor? And they can give you examples or solutions that they've had in the past. So we have both types of faculty, and they both have really great things to impart to you. Now, the curriculum itself is 12 courses. It's equivalent to 36 semester hours, and 9 of the courses are required, okay? So these 9 courses are going to expand your knowledge base in the geosciences and get you a really solid foundation in those areas. And then you have 3 electives that you choose, and we generally want you to choose within those 3 areas that I already mentioned: environmental geology, engineering geology, or hydrogeology. But you work with an academic advisor that you're assigned when you come into the program to determine what those courses will be. All right, so it's individual to you and your goals and what you need from the program. So those are the 12 courses that you have to do, and then there's a applied project, or like a master's thesis. We call it a capstone here. It is an applied project. It can be something that you're doing for work. It can be doing something that you do working with one of our faculty, etc. So lots of opportunities there. Of the 9 required courses, we have geocomputations. If you've been out of school for a while, you may not be up to snuff on the math. And so this is a math refresher course, all right? It actually, there are some pre-course modules if you have never really had calculus that will get you up to speed for calculus. And then it's a course that's focused on calculus for geologists, okay? And for most people, this is a nice refresher. If you're really solid in your calculus and you really don't feel like you need that, we do have some substitution courses that you can take, including GIS, Geographic Information Systems, that you can substitute in if you feel like your calculus is in good shape. Because a lot of the other courses are going to have derivations and other things going on, and it's good if you're up to speed on your calculus. Then we have a hydrology course, which is going to give you a good broad overview of hydrology and hydraulic issues. Groundwater hydrology, which of course focuses on groundwater, contaminant transport, and so forth. Geomechanics, which is really important, particularly if you're working, of course, in construction, tunnels, bridges, buildings, and that sort of thing, but can be useful in all fields. Environmental geophysics, which again, really great for finding faults, for looking for buried barrels and other things. So really terrific course in geophysics. Aqueous geochemistry, which is our water geochemistry course. Engineering geology and applied engineering geology. So 2 versions of engineering. One is going to be focused more on rocks. One is going to be more on soils and the issues that you might find around those. And then a project design course, which helps you pick your project for your thesis and write your proposal, find your committee, and get started on the project. All right. So those are the 9 required courses. And then just a little note on that other piece, which is the research, right? You have to develop a proposal to complete an applied project in the project design course. That's why it's called project design. But the project itself should help you identify an applied research. Well, the course itself will help you identify an applied research project, design the methodology, obtain research advisors, and develop a project management plan so you can get started. But the project itself should really be helping you with your next step, your next professional step in your career. So we really try to tailor that to what you want to do. If you're, say, in a company right now, you feel pigeonholed and you want to move to another part of your company, or if you're new to the field and you just want to get your foot in the door, we're going to find something that's going to help you with that, build your resume, and show off your stuff so that you can get to that goal, okay? Now, again, it's going to focus on your career goals. It can work with current or potential employers. So if you have a project maybe that your company's been wanting to do, but the clients don't want to pay for it, this is an opportunity for you to show off your skills. And you can also, work with one of our folks here in the department, either one of our faculty members. We have a couple of centers that do research that you can get involved with. So there's a lot of opportunity here to do different types of research projects. We really do emphasize applied projects over theoretical. We really want you to do something that can show off your skills for your career. Some past projects, these are just some titles that we had. Geophysical investigation of PA Route 33 sinkhole project. So if you've ever had to deal with sinkholes, you know that those can be quite a problem. And so he worked on that project. We had a landslide occurrences in Italy, looking at potential landslides in the future. And then another one, this last one, characterization of a previously unmapped subsurface fault zone in central New Jersey, came out of a project for his company. So the company had, during a groundwater cleanup project, realized that the water was not flowing correctly. There was something there. They knew there must be a fault, but it had never been mapped. And, the clients didn't necessarily want to pay to map the entire fault because, they just want to deal with their issue. So he did that as his project, and it was really valuable for his company because other projects in the area, they now knew where this fault was, and it could help them with modeling groundwater flow for other contaminated sites. So those are just a few of the examples of things that students have done. Now, the 3 electives, again, electives are chosen in consultation with an academic advisor. And again, you're assigned an academic advisor when you come into the program. So you have somebody that you work with every semester to select courses, to help you pick a capstone project. And they're there also with career advice and so forth. So they're there with you every step of the way through the program. Now, some of our electives include GIS. We actually have 2. One is modeling geographic objects, and one is modeling geographic space. So one is vector and one is raster. So if you're interested in learning more about geographic information systems, our courses use ArcView GIS. And we will train you on how to use that software in various ways. There's a contaminated site investigation, remediation, and long-term stewardship. That's a really great course if you're interested in phase 1s, phase 2s. Landslides speaks for itself. Certainly landslides are becoming more of an issue worldwide. And this course really gets into the nitty-gritty of how landslides occur, and then solutions. All right. The role of environmental professional in managing contaminated site liability. All right. That one again speaks for itself. We also have a fate and transport of pollutants, which is a groundwater modeling course using some of the current software to track pollutants in the water using real data. And we have 2 other courses. We have a field study of soils course and a field methods in geology course. And each of these are actually on campus. So you would come to campus for 1 week and you go out in the field every single day and get your field experience. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. There are some other courses. These are just a few examples of our electives. So you're probably wondering, like, what does an online program look like, or what does our program look like? So I did a few screenshots just to show you. First of all, residency. You're not required to come to campus at all. You never have to set foot on the Philadelphia campus if you do not want to, but you certainly are welcome to. We do have opportunities for you to come to campus, and that includes those 2 field courses that I mentioned, soils and geologic field methods. Those are on campus for a week. You travel here, stay at a hotel, and then you're out in the field every single day. It's a great opportunity to get to know the faculty and to also get to know other students in the program. And then, of course, for graduation, you're absolutely welcome to come and walk across the stage and shake the dean's hand and so forth. So, but you can also come at other times and visit the offices and the campus and so forth. We have all of our courses and our program community are in a platform called Canvas. So some of you may have heard of that. If you've been in school recently, you've heard of Blackboard or Canvas or some of these others. We use Canvas, and we'll certainly train you on how to use it. But here's some screenshots from Canvas for our program community. And this is how the program, us, communicate with you. We send out weekly emails called This Week on Canvas. And we, in those announcements, we include, things that are going on, deadlines that you have to meet, opportunities for seminars, for getting together with your fellow students, conferences that are coming up, and so forth. So we send those out. If there's internship opportunities or job opportunities, we're going to post them on that and send those out once a week. So you're going to hear from us every week so that you know we're here for you. And so in addition to your academic advisors, we'll be sending these out. That particular site also has program resources, course planning tools, funding opportunities, and career resources. So lots of great information on that site. It's available to you from day one throughout your program, and can be a really valuable resource for you as you're going through the program. Now, in terms of the courses themselves, they are asynchronous, meaning that there are no live sessions, though the professors often have live office hours, so you can attend those and chat with them in person. You can also make appointments with them individually to meet with them and talk about course content or career goals or whatever you're doing. Problem at work that you're trying to solve. They're happy to meet with you individually via Zoom to talk about these whatever issues you might have, concerns, questions, and so forth. So I did a few screenshots here. One is the front page of Michelle Adams' course on water resources for geologists and environmental scientists. This is actually a summer class, so it's an 11-week class. Most of our courses are 14 weeks. Summer courses are 11 weeks. Fall and spring courses are 14 weeks, all right? And you can see here what Canvas sort of looks like. On the left, you can see there's a menu with like home, announcements, and so forth. And then there's this central area where you can see, a little bit more about the course. And there's always a welcome video from the professor telling you what to expect in the course, and so forth. All right. And then over on the right includes things like readings and what you might expect there. And then there's also an announcement section for each course site, and that's where the professor will communicate to you as a group, sending out messages about the week and what to expect. There are also intro videos for every week, so the intro videos will tell you what to expect for the week. And then you'll have opportunities to communicate with your fellow students through discussion boards. So some of those discussion boards are just open where you can just ask a general question. There are other discussion boards that are graded where you interact with your peers and discuss specific questions that the professor has posed. So it's a really great way to get to know your fellow students, even though you're asynchronous and you're not in person at all. So really, students have really enjoyed the discussion boards and getting to know their peers. Okay. And then again, they're weekly modules. So each week a module will open and you'll have to complete everything in that module before the next week opens. All right. So unlike some programs where it might be something where you just work through it and you have a whole semester and you just have to have everything done at the end. Here you are expected to complete certain tasks every week. All right. And so you can see here, week 6 was streams and stream restoration. And you can see she's got a week 6 learning objectives and weekly sequence. And that has information about what to expect, including a video of her talking about what to expect. Then there will be some lectures and other content video-wise that you'll have to watch. And you can see that the times for each video are listed there. So some of them may be lectures, like lecture 6, part 1 here is 33 minutes long. That's Michelle talking about the topic. But there's also things like natural stream restoration, stream and nature, part 1. And that's a video from another source, right? So it's not her, it's from outside of Penn. So you're going to get a nice mix of, video from USGS or EPA or other places talking about these topics, as well as the professor and giving their professional views and information about the topic. All right. And you can see here that there's also interviews, and most of the courses have interviews with experts in the field, and those are really valuable as well. So that gives you kind of a general idea of what to expect for these courses as you join the program. Again, there's video that's recorded, and there are also assignments weekly. Again, so you're expected to work through the modules 1 week for each module and complete all of the video, all of the assignments, discussions, etc. During that week, and then the new module opens up. So you're all together, all of your classmates and you are together, working together on these things, and everyone stays together throughout. All right, so students have really enjoyed this format and found it to be very good for not only learning the material, which of course is the main objective, but also networking with their peers. All right, so besides the curriculum, right, and what you can expect as an asynchronous program, we also have professional development opportunities for you. So one of the things that you might have noticed is we had a geologic field course as one of the courses that you can take on campus. And we're offering that because what we're finding is that a lot of students coming through the program either did not have a geology major, right? They may have had something else, earth science or even chemistry or physics. And then, or they did have a geology major, but for whatever reason, they did not take a field course. And if you want to become a professional geologist at some point, most states require a geologic field methods course, okay? Something that they can see on a transcript. And we have developed a course that is specific to the requirements for the state of Pennsylvania. So the state of Pennsylvania has, in order for you to sit for the fundamentals of geology exam, which is the first exam you take to become a professional geologist, you actually have to have this on your transcript, a field methods course, or they will not let you sit for the exam. All right. Now, that's not true for all states, and each state is different, and we have on our website a list of the requirements for each state that has a professional geologist license requirement. Not all states require a PG, all right, but it is something that you might want to get as a credential, even if your state doesn't require professional geologist licensure. It might be worth your time to get it because it's a nice thing on your resume. It can improve the amount, your starting salaries, things like that, okay? So Pennsylvania does require a field methods course, and we have worked with the state to develop a course that will meet that requirement. Again, it may not be required for every state, and you'll have to look at your state, but if it is required for your state, then you might want to take this course if you haven't had it as an undergrad. All right, a couple other things about the professional geologist licensure. So step one is you take the fundamentals of geology exam. I encourage you to take that as soon as you feel ready to take it, because that's step one. And then step two is you have to have a certain number of hours working under another professional geologist or a professional engineer, depending, again, on the state. All right. So the good news is you can take that fundamentals of geology exam in pretty much any state. So you can go to the AEG website, that's the Association of Environmental and Engineering Geologists website, and they have a link to the ASBOG requirements. So the Association of State Geologists, okay, they have where you can take the test and when. And basically it's 2 times a year. Every state who requires licensure has this exam. And it's the same exact exam, whether you take it in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, or you take it in California, wherever you are, you can take it. It's always on the same day for everyone, okay? It's the same exam wherever you are. It's just that some states require certain requirements in order for you to register for it and take the exam in the first place. So do check your state. And again, if your state doesn't require licensure, but you might, I know, New Jersey does not require licensure, but New York does. So being in Pennsylvania, if you think you might be working in, Delaware or New York or Pennsylvania, you might want to get that licensure. All right. So enough about that. If you have more questions about that licensure, do reach out because I think that we can answer most of your questions or, direct you to the right people to help you out for your specific state. All right. Okay. The other professional development that we do is networking, right? We have over 175 alumni in our Applied Geosciences program. And here are some of the companies that they work for. And of course, these are just some of the not just US companies. We have students who now work in Malaysia and other places. So we have get-togethers and students get to know each other. And we also, as part of the advising process, we'll often connect you with alumni to talk to them about their experiences in the field, maybe opportunities for employment and so forth. So our alumni network is extremely strong, really tight-knit, and they're really great about helping you out professionally if you're looking for a new job, an internship or whatnot. All right. Okay. Some other things, we do have student chapters of the Association of Environmental and Engineering Geologists, which you can join. And again, they have regional student nights. So there are student nights all over. And so you can find out where yours is near you and join as a student and get lots of great perks. For one thing, entrance to their conferences are typically free or very low cost. There are opportunities for student poster nights, great way to meet people and network. And they also have study groups for the fundamentals of geology exam. All right. So lots and lots of great opportunities there. We also have the Water Center at Penn. This is in our department, Earth Environmental Science. We have the Water Center, and I do encourage you to check them out. They work with faculty and outside groups on water policy, hydrology, water infrastructure. They have a lot of different projects going on, all fully funded. They're often looking for students to work on these projects with them. They're looking for professional expertise, but also they can teach you. So depending on where you are in your career, there are student opportunities for research funding. There are seminars that you can attend remotely. And they also have conferences and, again, internships. So lots and lots of opportunities through that center if you're interested in water at all. All right. All right. Other opportunities. We have opportunities to publish. We encourage you, if you're working on an independent study, for example, with one of our faculty, your capstone project, we encourage you to publish that. Other extra projects that you might be doing, like with the Water Center, we're always encouraging you to publish. You're not required to at all. Again, this is not a research master's, so you do not have to publish, but we really encourage you to do that because I think it can help professionally to publish, right? And again, there's lots of opportunities to collaborate with our faculty on projects. So if you're interested in that and you join the program, you're like, I'd really like to collaborate with some faculty on a project, let us know and we'll connect you with the right person based on your interests. We also have the WH2O Journal of Gender and Water, and that is housed within the Water Center at Penn. And this is a journal that has looked at how water disproportionately impacts women. And it's a really great opportunity if you're interested in publications to get involved from the other side, right? So you actually get to review articles that people submit. You work with a faculty member. And again, this can be done remotely. You don't have to come to campus. There's opportunities to write blogs. There are opportunities to submit articles yourself and just, help out with the editorial process, the layout of the journal and so forth. So if you're interested in publications and learning the other side of it, the behind the scenes of how that all works, or getting involved with reviewing articles for publication, this is a really great opportunity. We've had students in Applied Geosciences. We had one student who worked in India on the issue of arsenic in the groundwater. Of course, it occurs naturally there and was not a problem until they started digging deeper and deeper into the ground to get the water and hit some areas that had a lot of arsenic in the rocks. So this student went to look at how we might be able to manage that better. They put filters on their faucets and things, but people were not getting them cleaned. And they were looking at ways to maybe clean it at the source rather than waiting till it gets to the faucet to have filters put on. So he worked with the engineers there to come up with a solution. And then he wrote about it. All right. So, and then they published it here. So lots of opportunities depending on your interests. We also encourage you to attend conferences. This is a really great opportunity to professionally network. And I think that sometimes students think that conferences are only for academics. And certainly there are plenty of academic conferences. Again, if you think maybe down the road you might want to do a PhD, this is a great opportunity to go and meet folks in that area. But it's also a professional opportunity. There are a lot of conferences that are geared towards the professional world, including the Geological Society of America, the Association of Environmental and Engineering Geologists, and there's also the Association of the Waterworks. There's just a number of different groups that are specific to professional geology, and we can direct you to those and help you, especially if you want to present, but also if you just want to go and learn more about a particular topic. Chris here actually went to a mining conference in West Virginia because he was working on a mine leachate issue in Pennsylvania, and he wanted to learn more about the problem firsthand before he started his research. So that was a really great conference on reclamation. There are also opportunities for internships, and if you are just starting out in your career, an internship may be the way to go. Again, if you're already working in the field, again, maybe networking is the better way to go. But if you have not had experience, we can connect you with internship opportunities. And we have local consulting firms. And also, again, we have a wide-ranging faculty that are all over that we can connect you with. The EPA, we have connections there. We can have you talk to them and see if there's an opportunity for you there. Urban research stations across the country, as well as locally the Delaware River Basin Commission. So we can connect you with opportunities to do work. Craig here actually interned for the mining company Freeport-McMoRan. It's copper and gold mine in Arizona, and he worked on their water issues, water contamination issues. And he was hired initially as an intern, then he was hired after he graduated. He has since left, but in the meantime, while he was still there, he actually got another one of our students there as an employee who's still there. So the networking here in this program is really, really good and can really help you with your career. All right, a little bit of information about the program. Right now, we have 15 active students just taking classes this semester. 14 are part-time and 1 is full-time. And so that's something that you should know, is that you can do this program part-time or full-time, and you can switch back and forth. So you might go 1 semester full-time, 1 semester part-time, depending on your situation. If you have a full-time job, we recommend part-time, 1 or 2 courses a semester. I would not recommend more than that. If you are working part-time or are not currently working, full-time may be the way to go, 3 or 4 courses. 4 is the max, all right, because it's a lot of work. Typical majors for our program, obviously geology is the most common, but we've also had students with environmental studies or science, engineering, physics, and math. And we've had some other folks in different fields also that maybe their undergraduate major was not in these fields, but they have been working in the geosciences field since then. And so they have the experience, and then they have been good candidates for the program as well. Okay, so if you're interested in the program, what are the next steps? Our next application deadline is November 1st. Excuse me. That is for a spring start to the program, spring 2024, and our courses start in January. And I think Sally put in the chat the calendar a little bit ago, so you can click on that to see when the January session starts. There are 14-week sessions. If spring seems a little too soon for you, we also have a fall start date of fall 2024, and the deadline for that is April 1st. We do have a priority deadline of December 15th, and if you get in early, you can get into the program earlier if you apply to that early decision deadline. So we have 2 deadlines for that. Okay, so that's for applications. Now, what's the requirements for the application? We do not require a GRE test score. All right. There's an application that's going to collect your information, like your address and email and phone number and that sort of thing. There are some application essays which are going to ask you about your interest in geology and why are you interested in the program and so forth. The questions are online. There's an application fee. We require official transcripts from all colleges and universities that you attended. If you did your work, your undergraduate work in or graduate work in the US, you can submit unofficial transcripts initially, but if you are admitted to the program, then you will have to submit official transcripts in order to be fully admitted to the program. So you're conditional until we get your official transcripts. But we will review your application with unofficial ones. If you are from outside, if you took if your programs were outside the United States, including Canada and England, you will have to submit your transcripts to one of the certification companies like CertFile or WES, and they will do an evaluation and send that to us. And then we can evaluate your transcripts. And there's instructions on how to do that in the application. Besides that, we'll need a resume, 2 letters of recommendation. Now, the letters of recommendation can come from academic sources. If you have stayed in touch with your instructors over the years, totally fine to do 2 academics. But if you really haven't been keeping up with or keeping in touch with faculty and so forth, you may want to use colleagues, supervisors in your work, that sort of thing, who can speak to your interest in this program, your interest in geology and so forth, okay? And then if your first language is not English, you will also need to take either the TOEFL score or the TOEFL exam or the IELTS exam in order to complete your application. If English is your first language, you do not have to worry about that. Again, there's no GRE requirement. You're certainly welcome to put up a GRE score if you have it. We're happy to see that, but it's not required. All right, so that's it for the applications. Not too bad. In terms of funding for the program, we do not have scholarships or research assistantships for this program. However, many of our students use subsidized student loans, company tuition benefits. Many companies have tuition benefits where they allow you to take 1 or 2 courses a semester. External scholarships like the National Science Foundation, some governments, different countries, governments have various scholarships for you to do these programs. Technical paper presentation funding we do have. So if you decide you want to go out and present at a conference, we can help you out with that. We have awards, travel subvention awards to allow you to go to conferences or to do your research. So say your research is in a different area from where you are, we can help you out with funding for that. And research materials to do your research, we can also help you with funding for that. Just the tuition part, students typically are going to be funding through external scholarships, subsidized student loans, or company tuition benefits. All right. All right, so that's it. I do want to mention also, because we're an online program, international students are not eligible for working in the United States either during the program or after, because we're a non-resident program and you would be taking the program from your country. You're unfortunately not eligible to work in the US after graduation. So I did want to mention that. Does anyone have any questions? I've been going on for quite a while. You can put that right in the Q&A box. We do have a Facebook page if you want. We post not just about the Applied Geosciences program, but also our sister program, Master of Environmental Studies, and our department, undergrad, PhD, and so forth. All right, well, I guess, oh, good, we have a question here. Yes, so I guess Shannon is asking about the cost per course, and I think Sally did link out to that. Sally, did you link out to that at some point? You're muted, so.
Yeah, I just put
Okay,
it
yeah.
in the chat again, and you can download all these links that are on chat. There's a little button next to the happy face button on the chat, and you can just pull off all the links.
So it's about $4,600 per course. And it is, I guess, what we say a la carte. In other words, you don't pay a flat fee and take as many courses as you want. You're charged per course. So if you take 2, you're paying for 2. If you take 4, you're paying for 4. And then the other question was, are the field courses the same cost? And that is, yes, that is correct. Now, you will have to pay for your travel to get there and for your food while you're there, but we will pay for the vans, the equipment, and everything that you're doing while you're on the trips and so forth. We won't pay for your travel to campus, your housing and so forth. But otherwise, the courses are the same tuition-wise. There's no extra fees. Yeah, so Shannon is asking about, is there a maximum number of years to complete the degree? Ideally, we'd like you to finish in 4 years. We have had students take longer because of their tuition benefit opportunities. There are some companies that have tuition benefits, like 1 course a semester, not including summer. So that means 2 a year for them. And so it's going to take them a long time, maybe 6 years. We'll work with you, but ideally we would like folks to finish in 4 years if possible. If you're full-time, you can finish the program in 2 years easily. Part-time people, 3 to 4 years is typical. But one of the things that I think that a lot of our students have said, especially the ones that are working professionally while they're doing the program, is how much the courses that they're taking, they can take back and use the next day at work, right? So that's a nice benefit. And so there's no rush to finish the program because they're able to incorporate it into their work every day. Good questions. Anybody else? Acceptance rate. Sally, do you know what I think it's about
64%.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say 60, but yeah, 64%. It's pretty good. I think that we do a lot of work with students as they're applying and making sure that they're a good fit to the program before they apply. And we're happy to meet with you individually if you have questions or concerns or whatnot.
I put my email in the chat, so feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions.
Awesome. Great questions. All right. Any other questions before we go? We're always here if you, again, want to chat individually. We can also connect you with some of our academic advisors to talk to them. Again, our academic advisors are in the field. They work in consulting, they work in government, they work in these fields, and they can answer your questions about developing careers, about career moves, and so forth. And again, it doesn't mean that you cannot go on for a PhD afterwards. We certainly can coach you on how to apply for PhD programs, either immediately, or we've had students that have gone out, worked for 3-4 years after the master's program, and then come back and said, hey, I think I want to go do a PhD. And we've worked with them, and they've done really well in terms of getting into programs and finishing. So. All right, then. I think that's probably about it. If you have any more questions, we'll hang out for another 5 minutes or so, but thank you so much all for coming today. And we'll, if we have your info, we can send a PDF of the slideshow along with a link to the recording to you after this session.